What is up, Octo Nation? Hey, it looks like I actually made a mistake. And I totally apologize, but I had to get this video out because I wanted to clear this up. I have never heard this across all the articles and everything I've read for weeks and weeks and weeks. I can't believe I didn't double check this, but one of our subscribers, Jay Witt, said, I love your videos, but there is some misinformation in the video. The article you are quoting about having to have 75% electric vehicles comes from the Moving Forward Act. I know that. But he said this bill has passed the House, but has zero chance of getting through the Senate. So, I forgot to even check. It hasn't even passed the Senate. I thought it had already passed the Senate. And that was just assumption from the random articles and stuff I've read through all the websites. But I never actually looked up to see if it. I knew it was passed, but I didn't realize it wasn't passed through the Senate. He continues to say, I am bullish on WorkHorse and personally own about 500 shares, but this is certainly a speculative play, and I put the odds of them getting the majority of the contract at maybe 50%. Ford has a good chance of getting a big portion of the contract as they already have many federal contracts. The feds undoubtedly have way more confidence that Ford can deliver over a startup EV company. That being said, I do think Workhorse will get a portion of this contract, and I am gambling that they will get a large portion due to the trend towards green energy. Fingers crossed. And then another person said, I agree, everyone is already locked in the Workhorse to get the contract, but why would they give a large portion to such a small and proven company? I own some shares and hope they get a portion, but I wouldn't be surprised if the majority goes to Ford. I have never heard this, and I cannot believe it. So thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me know. This is huge. I'm almost embarrassed. But so I put, an update on the site. I said, Moving Forward Act has been passed by the House Representatives, but not the Senate. I thought it was, but looks like it hasn't. The September deadline is actually for the Senate to come to a conclusion on the bill. Come to find out. So they could end up going with any manufacturer they want. So they're still looking for new rigs, but what does this mean? This means that it could still be these dudes, the turkey-based Carsan, or it still could be Ford also. Okay. So that really opens it up. So I was thinking, 75% has to be them because it has to be electric. It doesn't yet because it's not finalized. So my bad on that. But then I also found this. It says Senate Republicans have expressed opposition to the bill as passed by the White House, citing the overall level of spending, regulatory changes, and climate change related provisions to the bill. The administration has issued a veto threat, which is outlined in this. We'll go to that in a second. However, the bill represents the opening position of the House of Representatives in infrastructure negotiations should the pass its own bill. The Senate committees continue to work both publicly and behind the scenes on their version of an infrastructure package, which is likely to include surface transportation legislative package materialize in the Senate before August recess, but it's unlikely at this time. Should such a bill emerge, the conference negotiations take place. Expect certain provisions from the Moving Forward Act to make it into the final agreement. The legislative calendar complicates the prospects of an infrastructure bill to be agreed to by both chambers of Congress and signed into law by the President in the near term. Following the 4th of July, both the House and the Senate will depart Washington for 2 weeks. When Congress returns mid-July, they got to get it done by the end of the fiscal year, which is that's that September 30th deadline, by which several must-pass bills must be addressed, including expiring surface transportation laws, annual appropriations for federal agencies, the FY 2001 National Defense Authorization Act, and the congressional leadership is also teeing up work on an economic recovery and stimulus package related to the Cerveza. The chance of an infrastructure package being enacted into law is likely tied to electoral policies and action on board and stimulus package. Congress also has the option to pass short-term extensions to push these deadlines past the election, which is freaky, which is likely for some, if not all, of the expiring programs. So that sucks. And then this is that thing it linked to here. This is the statement from the administration. Policy the administration opposes. So this is the Republican side. So they're saying the administration opposes the House passage of the H.R. 2, the Moving Forward Act, the thing we've been talking about, everyone's talking about the Moving Forward Act. So they oppose it. The administration strongly supports improving the nation's infrastructure, but this bill is problematic for several reasons. It is heavily biased against rural America. It also appears to be entirely debt financed. That's not good. I'm not sure about this rural America. I didn't read the whole bill, but I read big sections. And it fails to tackle the issues of unnecessary permitting delays, which are one of the most significant impediments to improving our infrastructure. Further, instead of taking a balanced approach that would benefit more Americans, HR.2 is full of wasteful, quote, Green New Deal, end quote, initiatives that would impede economic growth and impose unnecessary mandates, hindering innovation and driving up costs for the American people. So, that could pretty much, be, there's lots of green stuff in that deal that I did skim over. I mean, tons of random stuff. So who knows exactly what they're talking about when they're saying all the green stuff, but I mean, that could easily be the, electric initiatives that we're talking about. So what does all this mean in a big picture? It means that there is going to be a fight because Republicans are like, we don't want to make it too green and too crazy because it could cost too much and it could end up hurting some things, and the Democrats just want, to make everything totally green no matter what the cost. So, of course, there's got to be a balance and they're going to have to find it. So what does that mean for WorkHorse? That, again, like that guy was saying, it's totally speculative at this point. So now it's kind of in the the Republican hands whether or not they do this. So there's a couple ways you can kind of look at this too. Like like I said, I know I've heard Trump talk about GM a lot. He still has that whole Lordstown connection. He still has the Ohio connection. So if he sees that and realizes that WorkHorse will definitely benefit, and he obviously knows about WorkHorse because he has quoted them and tweeted exactly about WorkHorse, hopefully he keeps that in and we'll be able to get that contract. But regardless, it's not a done deal for WorkHorse. It's just not. They could end up going 100% forward and saying, forget it, we're sticking with gas for sure. Or, they could say, we'll do 50% of this, 50% that. So I don't know. But anyways, I want to clear this up. I don't want to take too much of your time. I wanted you to get this before the night ends. So I'll link this in the website too if you want to finish reading this. But I thought this was pretty major find here that no one is talking about, and we need to clear that up. So again, I apologize, but y'all have a good rest of the night.